It doesn't have to, like when they're just completely negative, you're like, well, you just want to say something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Trust me, I've been tempted.
You know,
yeah.
no. What I mean is they want to say something because they're getting off on it. It
Yeah.
wouldn't matter what you did. They're just like, can't wait to rip into you for something or anything. Just, you know, clutching at straws. Just find something that they can do to feel like, you know, to complete their day. It was like, got to tick that box of, you know, ranting on someone to make them feel bad. It's like, okay, whatever. It's all good. But I do get a lot of comments that you're like, as much as that's, I guess, bagging out my show or what I'm doing, you're like, I wasn't like, you either had an inkling about something like that or you're glad they brought it up. Yeah. And also when there's someone else says the same thing, you're like, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
You know, like I watched I've seen some of your stuff on Instagram and you're like, man, that's pro. And I look at my own stuff and be like, there's nowhere near like the video quality or the audio or again, talking. I've done that a million times, you know, and you honestly, you probably have.
Yeah.
You know, so what I'm getting at is don't take that as a criticism. Take it as like someone's noticed that. They might not have explained it to you in a very nice way.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like like you're like, well, you could have just like privately messaged me or something.
Yeah.
But that's them getting off on bagging you out. I did a video once, Easter last year, where we were up at Toowoomba. It was Toowoomba, Toowoomba, and we missed the Brisbane night purposely because we wanted to work on getting my content out, you know, quickly. And I was like, I can't do 3 in a row. Let's just focus on those 2. And we did the first night and I was like, I want to add, again, you're trying to add 1% each time. And I was like, I really want to add in some music to help the video roll along and kind of give it a bit of a theme. Again, have best intentions to make it a better production.
Yeah.
Again, don't really know what I'm doing, you know, and had a go. And I had music for some of it, like over the racing. And I got a few comments. Obviously, I wasn't going to get them before this, but after that video, I got a few comments like, F off the music.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like I've put in more effort and you don't like it, like the result of it. It's not that they don't like your effort.
Yeah.
It's that they want to hear the cars.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm like, you really want to hear like the whole time. And you're like, all right, like that's cool with me. So it's, some of them might have said F off the music, you know, that was a crap video. Or someone might have said, hey, I prefer like just listening to the cars.
Yeah.
So they both meant the same thing, but it's really, that's a problem with them, I guess. Like with the way
they've communicated.
You can say anything you want, but just do it respectfully, you know? But yeah, don't let it get to you. But I try to turn it into, again, like with anything, just try and turn it into a good thing. Oh, okay, like you didn't like that? Like how can I avoid that happening next time? Are they being like sincere and realistic, or are they really just trying to have a go? There will be things that I disagree with too. Like they'll say, you know, even when they say that was your best video yet. And I don't know if that's them being nice or not, but I could not disagree more. Like some of our videos recently, you know, Matt and I have these discussions. I'm like, we have totally moved away from why I started this. And I'm embarrassed at kind of, again, I'm just like my racing. I'll be my biggest critic. I'm like, no, we really need to get back to what we were doing here.
Yeah. What do you mean by that? How do you feel it's changed? So
I started, this is probably a different story, but I started sprint car racing for a couple of different reasons. It was me personally, needed something to do, and I also needed to, I felt like there was a market for it. Okay, we can go into depth on all that stuff later, I guess, or at another time, but I really, really felt that we needed to show the sport or the fans what wasn't being shown, what sprint car racing was really like. And another big aim for me, again, and I don't feel like I've really tapped into it much at all, is to introduce new fans to sprint car racing. You obviously know about Sprint Car Hub and you don't know that much about sprint car racing. I mean that respectfully.
Yeah, no, that's right. Because I came through when I met Dan over 2 years ago, and he introduced me to the sport through it, and then I think
basically I told her this is the fucking shit. You got to watch it.
Yeah, and then I've learned so much from him. Then I said I learned so much through yours, and then and that's true. That's how you learn, and that's how that's how people get brought into the sport, because like I said to Dan, there's been years now where they've taken it off major TV. So people lost touch with it or didn't know about it. And when I was showing, I was at Eastern Creek, I had heaps of people going to me, where are you? What is this sport? Like they didn't even know. And so then, it kind of starts to spread that way as well. Yeah.
So for Sprint Car Hub, I'm like, I want to be the one-stop shop to show all that. What is a sprint car? Like, what is a sprint car? Like you can't tell me you wouldn't have watched that video. Yeah. If I made a video, what is a sprint car?
Yeah.
So again, without getting into too much of what I'm working on and want to do, like there's so much, like I've got pages, like notes in my phone and everywhere, like so much written down, videos, scripts and all stuff already written, Yeah. But I also want to make it a good quality. Like if I want to talk about what is a sprint car, I could tell you right now, we could chop that up and that's your video.
Yeah.
But I really want to do the sport justice as well.
Yeah.
So it's a big, big aim of mine to, for sprint car racing, to grow it and show it to new fans, not just please the fans at the racetrack. But there's so much, to answer your question, there's so much that goes on at the racetrack that I really wanted to show the night of what goes on. Like tomorrow night, we're filming with Brody Kostecki.
Yep.
And I want to show like, how does he go about his racing? What's different? Like, I don't need to explain what's different, but you can see by watching the videos, oh, that guy does this, that guy does that. His expectations are.
Do you think it's good
different.
the supercar guys are coming to the sport?
Oh,
like,
it's great. Yeah.
Like
it's not like, but the cool thing about our sport is like really don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that they probably like that too.
Yeah.
SVG would, because he doesn't like the limelight like we hear.
Yeah.
Like in terms of all the, the media especially.
Yeah.
I said not so much the fans, I'd say.
Yeah.
We've just heard that he's been burnt in the past, doesn't trust the media, so he keeps to himself a little bit more, which is understandable with the position he's in. So I would have thought I said to Dan when he was in New Zealand, he would have really enjoyed that. And I said it's also what we noticed, like, say when we were just at the Bathurst 12-hour, they're unattainable. A lot of the supercar drivers, you can't approach the garages. You can't sort of get to them so much. It's either signing times or this or that. And I get there's prep time for the racing and cars and all that, where it's just a different environment at Speedway. You can go down to the pits. You can talk to people. It's family orientated. It's just, it feels more like state racing, I guess.
That's why I fell in love with it as a fan, though. That's why I turned up to Parramatta every single weekend back in the day.
There's not one person at any sprint car event that you can't talk to.
Yeah.
They might not give you much time, but you can't, there's nothing stopping you walking up, hey, good luck, which that's all you really want.
Yeah.
I hate that our fan base probably feels anyway detached from sprint car racing when it's really so accessible and the power of the internet and what I'm doing. I'm like, let's just connect the dots here.
Yeah.
Let's really maximize this. If I got to be perfectly honest, and this might come across slack, but I didn't want to do a podcast for a number of reasons, but I really felt like, someone else can do that. And I might end up, doing that.
Yeah.
But what is first and foremost, most important for me is to create something that is completely unique to our sport. I mean, how many different sports or industries have explanations on this stuff? What does sprint car racing have? We don't have it. And I guarantee you I'll be the guy to do it because I'm so passionate and can't wait to do it. And I don't try to pretend I'm an expert either. There's a lot of stuff that I don't know, which is probably not a good thing to say.
Yeah.
But it's 100% true. And there's a lot of stuff I don't know. And at the very least, I'm going to go get the answer. If you want to know what's it cost to own a sprint car, well, if I don't know that off the top of my head, well, I'm just going to go find out. And over time, you probably notice you've started to build up some contacts, some relationships, and things start to really roll on. And now, I mean, I've interviewed and spoken with and had cameras on cars of the best drivers in the world, anyone and everyone. Actually, the only reason I actually know Brody is last time I went to Toowoomba, he came up to me, hey, Toby, how you going, mate? And I was like, I actually didn't know who he was.
Right.
Yeah. And,
right.
And again, not going to make him out like he's some
big
superstar.
Yeah.
But he's an everyday dude. Cam Waters is, I'm sure Shane is, and everyone's an everyday dude. It's actually the fans who put them on a pedestal or in different tiers to, don't do that. Just treat them like normal.
Are they still using the concussion devices on the helmets now, or they're still going with that?
Yeah. So there's a lot. I think there's some more stuff that's meant to come out about that, and I've got some more stuff to put out about it as well. But at the moment,
Yeah. Do you reckon they should move it? Do you like the thing on the helmet, or you reckon it should be a device on the car?
To answer your question, no, but I love that they're doing something about it. Be proactive. I guess they're trying to make out that they're being proactive, but the way they've gone about it, well, no, not 100%. And I'm not saying it's all bad, and it's also certainly not a personal thing either. Like some of the people that I've made look a bit ordinary in some of my videos, I've spoken to in public.
Yeah.
Since it's, and I'd imagine I was bagging out something that you were doing. Like it's not a personal thing. It might be, how you're going about it though.
Yeah, Alex Orr was on here and he was pretty blunt about what's happened and what his part in it and everything as well in testing the helmets. Like he's talked openly about it. But I think what we got down to is the fact, like you said, it just wasn't there. My big question was, because you see this in fight sports and everything, there's all different concussion rules and everything. And we were saying in it, what was their plan with these things? If you get 3 hits or you get a hit and it goes red, well, who makes the call? The doctor, this, but then they wipe their hands of it and then there's no medical call from there to say who's going to, Whereas in fight sports, you get a certain amount of hits that you're out for a certain amount of time or something. There's more, I'd say, clearer cut rules, whereas there's not with what they were implementing with sprint cars. So that was the problem, I think, at this stage.
Yeah, there's a few different things. I mean, there's the implementation of it, like the process, the quality of the device, the involvement with drivers and teams, and just there's a lot of different areas of that people are questioning. And really, should something be forced on you if all that hasn't been worked out really well? Probably not. That's probably the thing. But at the end of the day, if it was done 100% properly, you still question that's the implementation process. You still question the quality of it. So you've gone about it the right way, but it doesn't mean it's a good device. And even if it's a really good device, have they gone about it the right way? So I think if it was a really, really good device and it all made sense, then you'd be like, hey, this is just the way you went about it wasn't right, but let's push on with it.
Yeah. Were the medics though checking like when you had accidents back then on your rise? Were they doing that back then for like concussion tests?
Yeah, do all those sort of checks. I've had a few wrecks where the thing is if you get in if you're in a big wreck in a sprint car and you're like, oh, I'm no good, man, like they go nuts, so that's what scares a lot of drivers to say something. Yeah. When you're a bit worried, I've only probably had one wreck where I've actually been worried after I stopped, and you still, and like there's different sorts of worry. Like, have you had a good knock, or is it like you can't move or feel your feet or something? Like that's they're all different issues. But I think also the first thing you think of is you want to show people that you're all right. Yeah. Especially if your family's watching, which they usually are. Whether they're at the track or online or however they're watching, you want to just be like, hey, I'm good. Yeah. And but you would, if you go to get a checkup to the ambulance, they would do all those sorts of checks, and if you're feeling secondhand later on, then you go back or go to the hospital. I've been cleared before and been like, no, I should go to the hospital.
Yeah. You've had like fly there with Mitch Dumsney. He had a small accident, but that was his end of his career, really, wasn't it? Like, you don't really in sprint cars, it's awkward. Like the big crashes,
you never know.
You guys, it's crazy.
Yeah, you really never know what different accidents that I've seen. Obviously, people have been killed. All the way down to big wrecks that nothing comes of. So it's whether it's spinal injuries or head injuries. There's a lot of that's life. That's racing. That's what happens. But I love that to get back to the concussion device. It's great that they're doing something. But just the way it's been implemented, and also and I don't want to hold back either. This is just me being completely honest. I don't hold back. Like I have no reason to. I just don't like how they've, again, talking about how you guys run a podcast and try and call things down the line. You try to, but you also got to be completely honest. And this is just me. I'm not holding back in my videos. Yeah, I'm not going to go. It's mouthing your opinion. Off. Yeah, I'm not going to go mouthing off at someone, because again, that's like when someone comments like a negative thing, you're like, hey, you haven't handled it that well. To me, the best way I can say how I feel is how I'm explaining it right now is I just don't like how it was implemented, and I don't agree with that process. So there's a lot that needs to be fixed up there, and I'm not a fan of the device for a number of different reasons.
Yeah.
But I'm like that just needs to be sorted out. And I think it will come out in time. I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually not mandatory pretty soon.
Yeah.